Hello, hello. Testing. We are live on YouTube. Got our boy Mickey here, like always. Also live in the Discord. Appreciate everybody joining us. And we're gonna look over some charts, go over some things we've been looking at recently, and some features within some of these setups. I mean, gold today, nice little rebound from that sell-off. But yeah, say what's up, Mickey.
Awesome. Happy Friday, happy weekend.
Yes, weekend already. I had a short week in America over here with Labor Day on Monday. Football's back for all you football fans.
Go Raiders.
Go Ray! Look at him. All right. They're playing what? They're playing this. They're playing the. Who are they playing this?
Who knows? I'm on the hockey bandwagon here.
You're on the hockey bandwagon now. Awesome. Where's everybody from? Let's see. We got 134 people in the on the live stream on YouTube right now. Let's see. We got a lot of comments already. Hello, Big Bull. Rocky. No Thang. Army.
Denmark, Oceanside, KC.
KC. Yikes. KC. It's a big yikes.
Royals.
No,
Iraq.
last night the reigning Super Bowl champs lost to the Lions. That's okay though. We got people all around the world. We don't talk about U.S. football.
Lebanon, Haiti, or is that Hawaii? How you doing?
Louisiana, Tampa. There we go.
Reese.
Remember, guys, we have a clearer, more I don't even know, more in-depth live stream, whatever you want to call it, on the Discord. Just join the discord.gg/lux. And also, we take most of the questions. Lions building a good squad. Yes, they are red. We're going to take a lot of the questions out of the Discord. So if you want your questions answered first, join the Discord and join the stage we have started there. It's open to everybody. You don't have to sign up to be a part of that Discord. So, yeah, let's kind of get into it now. We have it, man, gold here. Fantastic little combination happening between the signals and overlays and price action concepts. Looks like last week we had a killer downtrend. As you can already see, killer downtrend last week. And several break of structures. I mean, off of this play, I mean, this setup, exactly what I like to talk about when I can hit a trending market. And on this, I wish I could hide my. I think I can. Maybe. Anyway, this is my trend setup. Whenever I can identify a trend, this is what I look for using the signals and overlays indicator. I like to look for, a strong bearish signal, right? And I look for a reject of that smart trail, which we got right there. Nice reaction for a beautiful sell-off. With the price action concepts combined, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 break of structures. But even better, we didn't hit the max amount of exit signals on the overlays. We hit 1 and then 2 here on the 4-hour. Beautiful chance to take a trend trade on that. But not just that, what's really cool to see, and what I've talked about before every single time, and this is my setup here. So even on the 4-hour on the upside here, similar thing. We had several things line up, and we'll look over here as well. But we had a bullish signal, we had a break of that smart trail, and we had a bounce off the smart trail. When I see those bounces off the smart trail, I identify that as a better, trend setup. So got that bounce off the smart trail after shifting here. We pull up price action concepts. We also had a change of character, right? So seeing that change of character, seeing this break, seeing this bounce, seeing the candles flip from purple to solid green, which just means strong bullish action. And then also seeing this turn on the oscillator while it flipped to bullish money flow. That there would have been a perfect trade setup for a what I call 2-to-1, and that's what I trade, is a 2-to-1 below the smart trail here. And guess what? You hit your 2-to-1, bam. That took what, like a day and a half, 2 days nearly, to hit a 2-to-1 on that 4-hour chart. That's exactly what I look for when I'm looking for a trend setup. But again, we talk about this every single time. You want to look for several levels of confluence, right? So like if all the indicators are telling me, man, this is a good time to trade, then guess what? I'm going to take it. Because I'm getting confirmation 1, confirmation 2, confirmation 3, the change of candle colors there, confirmation 4, bounce off the smart trail, confirmation 5, you got a bullish turning point above the 50 level on the oscillator. I mean, 5 confirmations is guaranteeing a high probability trade, and that's exactly what we look for, and you can see it paid off very nicely on a 2-to-1 there. This is the 4-hour as well. You know me, if you've heard me talk, I'm not a huge 4-hour trader, but like even on, I always trade the 5 minutes. So knowing that that can work on any time frame is even better to, you know, depending on your trading style. So yeah, I thought that would be a really cool one to start off with. And yeah, let's go over that configuration for those that were asking about that real quick. The configuration here is very simple. We have just the default settings within the price action, or within the signals and overlays. Okay, default settings. All I do is I change my sensitivity to whatever the dashboard tells me. So sensitivity here is 15. It's saying optimized. I changed it to 15 because we want the most optimized settings, right? I have the smart trail enabled, and then that's it. So I let the indicator that's what I use to follow trends. Now, when we're a little choppier, I use the price action concepts. Gold, I think, is a lot better with the price action concepts. But when a trend setup occurs, then I 100% am going to look for an entry because I've identified that works for me, and so that's what I use with the features. And this is as well default on the price action concepts. I call myself the what did I say last week? Man, I can't even the default guy. You said you were the default guy. But again, guess what? We also have that other thing we talked about every time is we have these several break of structures before a change of character. So I like seeing break of structure before a change of character to kind of help with, okay, this trend might be actually exhausted. I mean, on top of the money flow down here, just getting hammered on the bear side, we had several turning points, several divergences that we're going to stat.
I'm going to look at a lower time frame on gold. And yeah, so this is a good indication of when it's a good time to use price action concepts, okay? Notice the amount of signals that are being signaled here. When I see this, I see several signals flipping back and forth. I know that the market's super choppy. So if I'm in this condition here, I'm going to probably, more likely, I'm going to turn off my signals and overlays. Now, of course, if we go back, you know, to this area here, we can see this was more than likely news driven. So anything that's news driven, signals are going to be off like this. So seeing those flip back and forth, more than likely, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to use my price action concepts, because I can identify these ranges a lot easier with the price action concept. So you can see even here, this 26% order block that we had down here ended up acting as a very strong support several times here. So we had it, 3-4 bounces there. Watch as it continues. And this is when I say, you have to know what market you're in. Are you in a trending market? Or are you in a ranging market? And so based on that, you can say, hey, signals and overlays might be a better one to use at the time, or price action concept. That's why I always say look through all of the different features that it gives you when you can identify whether it's a trend or a ranging market. So going through this some more here, we can see that we ended up now bouncing twice off that order block, and we headed for this high volume order block to fill that liquidity. We didn't end up hitting it, I don't think. Yeah, we ended up rejecting it there, which is perfectly fine. It ended up being a great trade here. Oh, we did hit it. We actually liquidated there. Perfect. There you go. There's that liquidity sweep. But now look at us as we retrace back to that same order block. We're already showing in real time a reaction to that order block. So we know that's a significant order block there that's just based on the previous price action. So yeah, look at that. That was actually a very good example of a liquidity sweep, and taking out liquidity. We were saying here, remember we were watching this this longer order block, and it ended up getting taken out. But you can notice even when it gets taken out here, it gets that immediate reject. Now if I add on more order blocks here, I could see the rest of them. Do the Mickey style here. I don't think 20 is going to do it though. Maybe it will. Yeah, it does. Okay. So we have that order block that gets swept there and then immediately rejects. So having those up, depending on how many you want, can really be helpful. And like Mickey has talked about before, he wants to see everything, which that's a great way to trade. You can see where those higher time frame order blocks are, to identify whether you want to take profit or looking for that liquidity to be swept or not. So now getting that reaction like we talked about off of that 21% order block, super great setup. I was going to look at some questions here on the Discord. Sorry about it. Sorry about the audio. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. What do the shady green and red blocks with numbers and percentages mean? So this is going to help you identify what levels are, of higher, volume. So here, 49% of that, the volume within, this range of order blocks is here. So this is going to be a more significant level. Same here, more significant level. And this is measuring that buy and sell volume from the order block that it came from. So, what we can calculate, or the way this is calculated, is when you're approaching one, like see if there's higher buying or selling volume. It could mean that if there's higher buy volume that happened at this order block, buyers could be exhausted at this level. So you would think opposite. You would think, okay, at this level, sellers could step in and then take out these lows. Now, if the selling volume is higher here, we could consider this a good level for taking a long trade. So buying off this level because the sellers might be exhausted. So when it's about even there, it's anybody's game. But then that's why we talk about looking for reaction. So I want to see reaction like this, something that's going to tell me, okay, price is trying to bounce off this level, and we got that here. But I noticed that the money flow on the sell side is still super strong from this big sell off here. So gold, you could have maybe taken a scalp on a shorter time frame or smaller time frame, but I don't like that the money flow is not lining up with the rest of the analysis. Plus, we had a bearish change of character, so why would I take a long off here just because that there's a order block that it's bouncing off of? I wouldn't take that because it's not lining up with our analysis. So yes, the people asking about how many order blocks. I use the default of 5. I know Mickey puts like, what did you say, 2,000 or something, like 800.
So maybe I'm going to move it up to 5,000. How's that?
Yeah, you move it up to 5,000 a day. So it really depends on what you want to see. Obviously, the more you zoom out with these, the more order blocks you have, the more you're going to see. So, it can help a lot with seeing more significant significant price points based on how many order blocks you have. So like he even has his breakers on, and the breaker blocks are great too for price action trading. He has breakers on, and he has the hide overlap off. So he wants to see everything. So what does that tell you? That means that this area here, you have a lot of order blocks. So there could be a lot of reaction that happens here, or there could be, a massive, sell through depending on how price is already reacting when it hits this range here. So it's like, it really depends on how much you want to see and trade off. Obviously, you can see we had a nice sell off earlier on gold. This is on Wednesday, and it bounced off that order block from before. So this was a low previously. So if we would jump into like a 4-hour chart again, like we were just looking at, we might be able to see, there you go. Having the amount of overlays that we have in the breaker blocks, we're noticing that this area is super significant. There's a reason there's a bunch of these order blocks overlapping, and obviously it had a reaction from it. So it depends on if you want to have all those up. I personally just do 5 because I'm not like looking for, I'm just looking for quick trades. So like that doesn't fit, my personal strategy. So I like the defaults up. So it really depends on what you're looking for in the indicator, and that's the best part about it is you get to customize it whichever way you want. So if that's something that you don't want it as messy on your chart, then you don't have to have it. That's the greatest part about it. But depending on what features you have on top of each other. So like I like using signals and overlays paired with oscillator and the price action concepts. If I was just trading price action concepts, that only indicator, then I would probably up my order blocks because I'm going to see a lot more. It's going to give me a lot more confidence in what I'm going to trade. But since I have more indicators and I'm looking more for trends and stuff, I don't necessarily need all those order blocks. So I only use the order blocks as, just another level of confluence. I'm not using them as like my trade entries or anything. So with Mickey, he does on some of his, depending on what he's trading, will use the order blocks as trade entries as well. So it really depends on the type of trader that you are. Let's see, Farrah said, I agree with the multiple confluence strategy. I was trying to get you another confluence and overlays. Do you think that that is a good strategy? I'm not a fan of the matrix, but overlays, I love them. I'm not waiting for a retest of Smart Trail, but I just add confluence. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, Pharaoh, is you're using them to help, confirm your analysis. So like a lot of people, and I do this too sometimes. I just go bare chart, right? And then I'm looking for like here. This is one of my favorite candle setups is when you have a retracement, right? You get this retracement, but then you see that there is what I call a no wick retest. So here on the 4 hour, and this would be even more stronger for the 4 hour. Here on the 4 hour here, this candle clearly, even though this is a big sell candle that took out these lower highs or higher lows, it did not want to continue lower. So that to me is a very bullish sentiment. So guess what I can do now is with that analysis, I can look, okay, do we have, some type of reaction based on my original analysis? So yeah, we have a bullish signal. We flip to very strong bullish candles and we bounce off that Smart Trail. That's going to give me an extra edge to this is a good entry, right? So me using my candle analysis knowledge on top of the price action or top of the signals and overlays is really going to help understand when a proper entry is used. So that's exactly how you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to figure out what features work for you on top of the analysis you're already making as you're trading. So that's really why it's there. And then it's supposed to help you. Okay, down here, 38% order block. I might have a possible opportunity because look, first off, I have high sell volume, right? So sellers might be exhausted, meaning that we were looking for, a possible bounce off that level. If sellers are exhausted at this level, maybe buyers come in. So I'm going to wait for that retracement to happen. And then maybe we get that, based on this high volume order block, there's a possibility. So I'm going to wait until it reaches this level again to take that, to possibly take an entry. Do you use any other indicators other than those three? No, actually, because I don't have to. Because like the nice part is I can go in here if I want to, look at fair value gaps. I can just click on FVGs here. Like FVGs, another one that I'll use sometimes to identify. Like there you go. I mean, this would have been another level of confluence that we could have used. I'm going to take off the order blocks for now, just to show you the fair value gaps. But as you can see, we have a bounce at that same spot off of fair value gap. It ended up filling that fair value gap here, right? But again, it's showing that this level is significant after that change of character. So seeing that line up together, change of character at the same time it prints a fair value gap. We filled that gap, ended up having that bullish change, and then we ended up having a leg up there. So that was a nice little move. Let's look at Bitcoin. It's been super choppy. It'd be a cool way to show you let's look at, I don't know, the 15-minute. Show you some other features. The 15-minute actually there wasn't too choppy. So first off, I start off with all of these, right? I start off with all my features enabled, and I try to identify if we're in a ranging market or a trending market. As of now, we're pretty much trending. We can also identify the trend on the trend strength here on the dashboard for the signals and overlays. Trend strength's at 80%, so that's going to start telling me, okay, maybe on this 15-minute chart we're temporarily trending. But notice as well, we did have we had a touch of this high volume order block of 31%, and then we had a massive rebound on Bitcoin 15-minute, right? So seeing that there, maybe knowing Bitcoin, we move into consolidation, right? Bitcoin usually after a trend or a nice bull run, it wants to consolidate and then decide where it wants to go next. Noticing that the smart trail has flattened out at the moment, as well as price. I mean, this is barely any movement here. I'm not looking for any trades other than I would want to see this low get broken, or this previous lower high to get broken, right? So there's no volume at the moment, so I would want to see something happen. Our sensitivity says 16 here. I think it's already at 16. Let's up it. There you go. Sensitivity is 16. Now, identifying this here, what do we get? We have a bullish signal, and it broke out, like out of this consolidation zone. As it broke out, it flipped on the right here. It flipped to bullish money flow. You had a very small divergence, but it wasn't that extended, right? We just broke that high. So what that divergence there, it occurred on this smaller time frame. But I wouldn't necessarily confirm that because it's not that extended. So that's just stage one of it possibly trending. So comes back, you have a turning point. What? Above the smart trail, above this, you have the money flow increasing massively. So here could have been a good entry of confluence if we look at price action. We have that change character, bullish, bullish. Look at the smart trail. Look, notice the difference in the smart trail here, right there, versus here, which went down and then it flattened out, right? Went down, flattened out. This one, it just gradually started moving up. So this is identifying here, way stronger trend is coming in than like this. Sure, we have this big solid move down, right? But in order for this to be a trend that I would want to trade, I would wanted to see it to retrace a little less. This retraced way too much. So that retracing way too much is what caused this little up move here. So now it looks like as if it could be coming back into that trend, and obviously you can see it's selling off a little bit. But this is what I look for. It's a lot cleaner. You can see it almost stair-stepping a bit on the top side of this oscillator, but it's smooth here rather than a little bit choppy there. So that there would have been a great little entry for a nice breakout move, lining up with the money flow going into an overflow, which is great. Do you use those indicators for stocks as well? Yes, I use it. Anyway, we use it for everything. Gold, I like to use the price action concepts indicator, which is what we just went over. Like, let's look at gold one last time here, and then I'm going to let Mickey take over, and we'll look at the charts through his eyes and his strategy, because that's the best part about me and Mickey here, is that we have way too different looks at the market and way too different types of trading styles. And so you guys can really see the best ways to use these indicators. So gold here, let's just dive into the 5-minute. Let's take a look. I love price action concepts with gold. What I've talked about before is I like to see, first off, reaction. It's the biggest thing, is reaction for me. I like to see break of structures before change characters. This is a good example of why would we take this one, or why wouldn't we take this one? Well, notice what happens here. You got that break of structure. You get this change character here, right? But look how extended it is. It's almost oversold or overbought. This change of character is occurring when it's overbought. Why would I want to take that trade? What I would do is, then I look for a retracement, right? And then I would want to see a turning point on the upside. No other change of character. So it's pointless. I'm not going to take this one. I'm not going to take this one. I'm not taking any of these change of characters. Even though this change of character, this Chach plus, would have played out, I don't like it because I like to see, you know, a break of structure before I see a change character. So really seeing that, we can look over, let's look at Euro USD real quick on the 5 minute. Yeah, it's similar setup to a gold habit. We're in the and then here you go. First, like I said, I like to pull up all these. I change my sensitivity to 18 because that's what it tells me. For gold here, here's your USD 5 minute chart. This literally is exactly what we were talking about. I mean, this is my trend setup, right? But does everything line up? Does everything line up for us? Let's see. I mean, yes, literally everything lines up. What do we have? Step 1, we have that bearish break of structure. Step 2, bullish change of character. Step 3, bullish break of structure. Step 4, bullish signal. Sorry, step 3 is bullish signal. Step 4 is bullish, bullish break of structure. Guess what? Next level confluence, we have a smart trail break. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Smart trail break. 5. Money flow switch. 6. We get a bounce off of the smart trail. 7. We get a turning point with bullish money flow. 8. How many levels of confluence do you need? Like, that's 8 right there for a trade, right? So, you know, would I take it here? Absolutely not. I'm not taking it there. I'm not taking it off this first. Oh, geez. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to get rid of that dot. I'm not taking it off this first touch of the smart trail. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. I'm waiting for that turning point above the 50. Boom. I'm gonna take it on this candle, right? This is the candle I'm taking it on. I set my stop below the smart trail. I target 2 to 1. And then there you go. We hit 2 to 1 perfectly. What we could have hit, what? Could we get 3 to 1 on this? Almost 4 to 1 we could have hit on this trade, right? Exit point here, could have had a trim there, trim at 1.5 to 1, and then taken, you know, all of our profits above 2 to 1. But this is where I tell you over and over again. There's your USD. This Forex. We've gone through gold, we've gone through now Forex, and then we went over Bitcoin. It's all works on everything. So bullish signal, right? Break, bounce, turning point, bullish money flow, everything lined up for a trade here. So I'm gonna take it. I mean, that's all I can say. It's not, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be complicated. Everything lined up. Everything was telling me this is, you know, an opportunity. So you take it. Your risk to reward is a lot lower than trying to like make something out of nothing. So yeah, I think that's a good way to end it on my side. And after Mickey goes, we'll just pick a random setup and we'll look at it like we did last time to end the stream. But Mickey, I'm gonna have you take over now for the last 30 minutes. Then we'll do one last, you know, random look at some market replay. But
Yeah, sure.
hopefully that was informative.
You are default guy, and I am Mr. Zoom Out guy.
Mr. Zoom Out guy. There you go. Yeah. All right.
Let's
I'm gonna end my stream here, and I'll have you take over.
All right. Let me know.
I'll let you know. You should be good, my friend.
Okay. The Dixie US Dollar Index. For those who know me in the room, I always look at the DXY, Dollar Index on the 4-hour, or a trend bias for the day, okay? I won't get into too much details on how I scan the markets. You know, I discussed this in past lives, whatnot, but today I want to discuss me turning on several features that I like, and then looking left. Right, looking left. We have a lot of pro strategies in the room. We have a lot of different styles that we trade. So I'm not gonna teach or concentrate on one particular style. I just want to let you guys know how I look to the left. You know, and that will guide you to go to your entry chart with your particular strategy. Right? There's no right or wrong strategy, right? But it is always helpful to look to the left in all strategies, okay? We have a basic chart, dollar index on the 4-hour. I have this on bar format. It's the same. It shows the same highs and lows, open, close. I can change it to regular Japanese candlesticks. Same thing, okay? Let me take this brightness down a little bit for you. All right, going to settings. For those you don't know, it's called a watermark. This is the watermark that shows the actual symbol that you're trading, okay? I'll take this down to 20 a bit, just like so. All right, okay. First things first, we go into the settings of signals and overlays, right? I like to have, let's go one by one. Let's add the Neo Cloud. Well, first things first, we have the Lux candle coloring, okay? This one is set to confirmation simple, right? Autopilot sensitivity long-term. I have that long-term because I want to know a bias, right? Long-term bias is good for me. All right. Next thing, I turn on the Neo Cloud. Okay. There you go. It gives a little bit better picture, right? Visually, it helps me. A little bit better picture. Kind of smooth things out a little bit, right? Nice signals, right? Short, long, all right? Next thing I do, let's see, we could add trend tracer. Take a look at this. Talk about stair steps, right? There you go. Okay, here's the flip right here. Flat line along with Neo Cloud, right? Trends tracer, little bit more reactive, a little bit, right? And you can follow the bullish stair steps here, right? When it starts to get flat line, that could be a pause for you to see if you want to exit, total cash out, or take some partials before you're hitting the next exit level for yourself, okay? Next thing I add is the LuxAlgo oscillator matrix. All right, there you go. Everything is on default. SMA sensitivity 3 for the hyperwave settings, all right? As Jacob mentioned, these are turning points. These little points helps me manage my entry and exit of my positions on the higher and lower time frames. Okay. Dollar index. Let's head over to the market as a whole, the ESE mini futures. Okay. Seems like a very popular one these days. Let me take the brightness down a little bit. Bring it down to 20. All right. Today, a little bit choppy, right? You may have scalped this on a lower time frame, whatnot, okay? Well, what level are we targeting, Mickey? What is your TP? Well, the way I look at it is, I'm not a very good fortune teller. I don't know if it's gonna go up or it's gonna go down, right? My strategy is there's always two paths that a price can take. A bullish path or a bearish path. And once I see signs or clues on which path it's taking, then I'll concentrate on that specific entry. Okay? Look where price is at right now. We're gonna circle this a little bit right here. There you go. All right? Let's squish this down a little bit. All right. So where is the next key level? We're just going to eyeball it, right? Not rocket science, we're going to eyeball it. Where is the next key level where I see price is chopping or visiting a lot? Okay, this is what I see. I see this, right? That has to be a major level. Has to be. Well, how do we verify that? How do we validate that? All right? This is what I do. I head over to my price action concepts template. I want to see price action. I want to see a bare chart without all these colors, right? We can get back to the colors when I'm actually entering a trade. But for an overall view, I want to see some levels, right? I want to see market structure, right? So let's head over to price action concepts. 4 hours. This is the same chart. Same chart with 4-hour order blocks turned on, right? All the overlaps are hidden, okay? Here's where I drew that circle, right? Let me clean this up a little bit. I have the liquidity trend lines turned on. Clean this up a little bit so we can focus here. It's all about focus. Okay. Well, a few minutes ago, I talked about a level on the on the 4 hour, right? If I scan to the left, I see all this junk, right? Actually, no, it's actually below. I see all this right here, right? But in the heat of the moment, do I have time to scan? Sometimes these levels are like last year, right? But fortunately, this was just a couple months ago, right? This is what I do. If I'm looking at the 4 hour, and if I don't see order blocks here, this is kind of odd, right? You're saying, oh, Mickey, there's no order blocks. You know, is the indicator something wrong? Well, no, there's not something wrong. You know, this is what you do, right? We don't cry about it. We think outside of the box, right? I see levels here, here, here. They're all over the place, right? Here's an easy way. You concentrate here, 4507, right? Click on the daily. We have to go up, right? Just like if I'm trading on the 15, I go up to the 4 hour. If I'm trading on the 5 minute, I go up to the 1 hour, right? If I'm looking to trade on the 4 hour, I'll go up to the daily. Let's go up to the daily. All right. Now we can see to the left just a little bit more. See? Now I don't have to squish my screen a little bit. All right. Now this is what we're gonna do. We are going to turn on all the order blocks. I want to see everything. All right. I'm gonna uncheck hide overlaps, meaning I am going to view all the order blocks, whether it overlaps or not. I just want to see. Okay. There's a lot of levels. Okay. This is a major level on the ES to me. Right? May not be for you, but to me, it's a major level. Okay. Where is this level? All right. Well, let's mark it 420, 4200. Okay. 4200. The order blocks overlay shows me this is a very thick and an important level. Somewhere around here, right? Now let's go back to our signals and overlays 4 hour chart. And this is what I'm going to show you. All right. What level is this? 4200. All right. It's no secret. All the information is in front of you. You just have to turn on and turn off the features that can help you visually see these levels. All right. Now let's go back to the price action concepts. Okay. Now let's squish this down a bit. This is a daily chart. Okay. So what are my paths? This is very thick. This is very thick. So I'm going to say, I want to see this, right? I want to see that. I can take this short, but for my rules, I want to see reaction off of key levels, all right? So on the daily, if I'm using the daily as a bias, I want to see a bounce right here. I want to see a bounce right here so I can take my long position on a 4-hour or 1-hour time frame. We're going to swing trade, right? What if it doesn't bounce? If it doesn't bounce, I am going to assume it's going to be chopping here, right? It could dump, so be it. I got to let that pass. That's not part of the rules. But if you're using a different strategy, yeah, you could scalp this left and right and swing it. You could be golden. But for me, for this particular rule and my strategy, I'm going to hold strong, right? There is one setup I need to look for, and that's it. I am not going to get distracted by other strategies, right? My strategy is the reaction or the retest of major order block levels, whether it be overlaps or breaker blocks. I just want to see it. What if, Mickey, there's a long position? How do you take a long if it doesn't go short, right? Well, this is the long right here, right? A short could go this way, right? Hold on, get rid of that. We'll take it down here. I want to see price go through this thickness, right? And I want to see that. I want that short for my scalps. I want it right here. Right? That's the short I'm looking at. This is the long I'm looking at. Okay? Those are the two paths for me to look at. It's not to say that any other strategy works. It's fine. Yeah. I can use signals and overlays, pure trend color, you know, but for this particular strategy with the price action concepts, this is my strategy. Okay? So that is on the ES daily. We can take a look at, let's see, let's go over to the dollar, right? Dixie here. I haven't played around with this on price action concepts today, but this will be the first. So let's see if I am going to have surprises in front of everyone. Okay. This is the 4-hour, right? Let's squish this down a bit. What am I seeing? Well, Mickey, here I'm just talking as a third person, right? But take a look at this. All right. Well, Mickey, I see one nice level here, but what about all this other stuff? These are newly formed order blocks. How can we trust it? These are just newly formed, right? I mean, does it serve a purpose for us? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you don't get this reaction. It would have been nice if we had some reaction here to solidify, to validate these levels, right? We don't have any validations for these levels yet, right? We only have a validation of this level, see? Comes back down. It hits this order block, rejects, you know, off of the ceiling, right? Resistance, comes right back down for the support and goes right back up. These are nice plays, right? But I'm talking about overall. Well, if this is over, what else I'm seeing? Turn on all your order blocks. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at why these prices are having these measured moves to the upside. Why? There has to be a reason, right? Turn them all on. Let's see what we have. See, I have 500, right? I should increase that a little bit. Okay, there you go. Switch this to the daily. I want to make sure my order blocks are on the daily. All right. Take a look at that. Take a look at this reaction right here on the daily. All right, breaker block, retest, screaming higher, right? Where is the dollar index right now? It is hitting this major order block that was created back in December. How many times? How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know about this one. All right. 6. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Let's just not include that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. All right. Maybe 6 times a charm. Boom. If 6 times a charm, this is what I want to see. I want to see this. All right. I want to see that. I want to take along right here. I am going to wait. This is daily, right? This is a daily. Remember, this is a daily. You can use the same concept on any other time frame, but this is a daily. So how many days I'm going to have to wait? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A week, week and a half to have this play out, right? But if it takes the short side, it could happen Monday, right? It could break out on Monday. That would be sweet, right? Right there. And it could take this path. All right. That's what I'm looking for the dollar. In my mind, fundamental analysis, forget about technical and indicators. You know, I am aware of the Forex news, the economy, and Japan. That is a major one. They're coming up on a big decision that's going to kick the US dollar even higher, right? So right now I am biased towards long positions on the dollar, right? So that's where my head is at right now. I'll take the short if it presents itself, but I am on high alert for some longs. Okay. Let's go to Big Daddy Euro. 4 hour. These are liquidity. I'm going to talk about this a little bit, right? Instead of turning them off. Liquidity trend lines. All right. The way to trade this on the surface is once it breaks a trend line, either cash out on your trade, on your current trade in the current direction, or you enter on a new direction, right? On the surface. I mean, you could see right here, right? Let's just say the trend line formed somewhere here. Right? It's not going to form here because once price is here, you don't know, right? A couple touches and it formed here, right? You could go down to a lower time frame and take your long positions. Ride it up, okay? Depending on your exit strategy. On your lower time frame, you may have trend lines enabled. And on that lower time frame, you could have had a trend line, a bearish trend line form. That would have been assigned to exit, okay? But based on this 4 hour, if you only traded this 4 hour chart, tunnel vision, not looking at any other chart, you're just trading trend line breaks, right? Trend lines are included in price action concepts. Here's your break, okay? Comes back up, forms another trend line. You're scalping. Guess what? Break. You're out of this bearish move. Okay, so that's how you trade trend lines. Let's say if you traded this bearish one, you're out, right? You exit your position if you are short here. We are in a current downtrend on the euro. Look at that. All right, let's see if this continues next week. It has not broken to the upside yet. All right. If this heads lower, if my bias of the dollar is going up, then the euro USD should go down. This is the perfect play on the euro. So if the dollar really does go up, the euro USD, in my mind, must go down. Here is a beautiful down play. A path if it takes it. Right? Here is the path. We have an order block here. Okay? It touched it. It may go back up again, right? It may go like this. I have 2 entries right here. I could wait for this, right? Or I could wait for this. If I believe in the dollar is going up, then the euro USD must go down. So these are the short paths I'm waiting for. Why this? Well, this will be confluence. If it rejects off of this order block with the trend line still intact, I'm taking it, right? I missed this one. This is one entry. All right. Sit on your hands. You have to sit on your hands. If you miss your setup in your strategy, don't chase it, right? No FOMO, right? Just wait. Just wait a little bit. We got time, right? Wait for another bounce. If it happens, take it. Boom. If you miss this one, wait for this bounce. Take it to the short side. Okay? So that's how I trade in general, right? Do I take trades off of one chart? No. What I could do is when the 4 hours in this area, I'll bring it down to maybe a 15, right? Here's the 15. And I'll just monitor price action. All right, I'll just monitor price action, right? I believe it's in this area somewhere here, right? No, actually here. If it comes back up and it retraces, I'll take a market structure break or change of character to the downside, right? So that's how I go top to bottom. Okay. Any questions in Discord or YouTube for now? Let's see, what do we have? Big Daddy, Bitcoin. Let's see, let's head over to Bitcoin. Okay, there's Bitcoin 4 hour. Let's see what we have, okay? Nice looking chart. Well, not so nice, right? Bitcoin. But it is what it is, right? So let's turn this down. I see a LuxAlgo BART pattern here, see? BART pattern means short to the downside. Okay, let's, these are just order blocks on the 4 hour. Just notice the placement of these order blocks, okay? For now, maybe there's no rhyme or reason why these order blocks are formed, but let's get a clearer picture. Why not? Let's turn on all the order blocks, unhide the overlaps, right? Just wait a second. There you go. See, the color ones are the breaker blocks, right? Nice levels, right? We have some congestion up here, right? So I need to watch out, right? If we have another pump, more than likely it's gonna stop right here, right? Your strategy may fade the pump. Fading crypto is a good strategy, right? How many times it pumps or dumps and it continues? Not too often, right? Maybe your strategy is to fade it. Set a limit order short right here somewhere and fade the next pump. You never know, right? So this is a 4 hour. Let's kick it up to the daily. Let me make sure my order blocks are on the current time frame. There you go, chart, okay? Here is the daily. Now, folks, does this give you a clearer picture why Bitcoin is not heading any lower? It's been at this level for years, eons. I'm just exaggerating, maybe for about a month. Why is that? Why is it chopping around the 2,500 level? Why? This is why. All right, kick it up to the daily. Show all your order blocks. I don't care. Put it to 2,000 up. This is why. This is pretty thick. If we break this level, oh dear, I'm not gonna look at my ledger balance, right? So that's a major level. It's gonna take some major news until it breaks. If I'm waiting for a short, if it's Bitcoin, like, I don't know. I'm gonna be waiting a long time for this path to happen, right? I don't see any foreseeable future to take this path. Long path, yeah. I'll be happy to take some longs. No problem. Here's a few long entry plays. Yeah, love it. If it goes long, I'm setting up pretty. If it goes short, I don't know. It's tough riding the short wave in this huge thickness, right? But that is the reason why it is stuck at this point, right? All right. Any other questions in Discord or YouTube? Scanning. All right, we're almost at the hour, Jacob. What do you think? All right. Oh, you got a setup, right? Last week.
Last week, people seem to like that. Let me see here. If you want to unshare your screen there.
No, I'm joking. Here we go. There you go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me share on Discord here again. Flip us back over. Everybody can see me. Cool, cool, cool. All right, we did this last week. You know, we just pick a random spot on gold. We can try it on SPY or something else too, but I don't know. Maybe like this here. Let's just do this. Okay, cool. All right, so crap. I picked a choppy board. All right. Anyway, let's see what we can. Let's just do some analysis with you know, the replay mode that's featured in, you know, TradingView to kind of go over what we look for. So at the moment, right, we had some pretty low volume. You can just notice it on the money flow, very low, right? Very low volume. Just make sure my mic isn't muted anywhere. Okay, yeah, we're good. So very low volume. You can just see the money flow super low. So, you know, we're chopping right now. Got that, you know, break of structure. So you know, right now I wouldn't be looking for a trade just yet. So we got a bearish signal as well. So we're pretty choppy here. So bullish. Okay, now we got a bullish signal. Okay, cool. We got that break of structure still. But notice the oscillator super extended. So I'm looking at three things, right? We broke that order block, got a strong bullish signal, right? But price overextended right now. So I'm still not, you know, looking. We're still extended. Okay, we got a little bit of retracement. I would say money flows below the threshold though. I don't know. I don't like it still. Let's see here if we get any type of change or not. I'm just walking through. Okay. We got to change the character. That's, you know, good first sign. And now we're flipping on the money flow. Okay, money flow is bearish. It's not very strong, so it's still in a choppy market. Hopefully we get some. Otherwise, it'll be boring. Oh, okay. All right, now we're showing some action here. Let's see. Okay. I see now that we have a very strong bearish candle, right? A very strong bearish signal with no plus. Notice it's a strong bearish signal. Money flow is still not there though, and we're almost oversold. So I don't really like this right now, but we do have a bullish break of structure into a change of character, right? So that's something I always like. We also broke the smart trail, so we are leaning bearish, but yeah, that's what I was afraid of. We're super extended now because of the volume kicking in finally. So if we were to possibly take this as a trade, there's a potential that this could trend. So the only way we would take this trade to trend is if this oscillator resets and goes back to that 50 level. That's the only time I would consider possibly a trade. So let's see here. Man, it's just extending big time. Wow. Okay. So reversal. The nice part is though, volume does seem to be stepping in. Oh yeah, you can notice it's 8:40 in the morning. So we actually could potentially get a setup of volume stepping in, which is good for you know, trade entries. All right, we got a turning point on the bull side, but we're bearish. Still a bearish smart trail, but this is, you know, notice the angle of the smart trail. So maybe we will get lucky here. Let's see. Nah, see, still went back down. Let's see. We're still waiting on that retracement on the oscillator. We're still extended, right, on the bearish side. Still extended. Let's see. The money flow is still high. Let's see. All right, money flow is decreasing now, so, you know, this could flip. We now want to notice, you know, maybe another lower high or something, and that money flow to increase again. And then, okay, sweet. Oscillator has reset, right? So the only way we would take an entry here is if we get a turning point and that oscillator is increasing again. But notice, strong bearish signal. We're in a bearish trend, okay? We have our retracement now. We've been waiting on our entry, and the oscillator has reset. So everything so far looks like it's looking good. Let's see if we get a turning point here. Didn't yet. The oscillator is starting to increase though. Okay, nice. All right, cool. So we did get a turning point. Notice the oscillator is back increasing. Got a bearish turning point. It's hard to see there, but it's that little gray dot here. Bearish turning point. Bearish signal. We're trending on the what's it called? The smart trail. We flipped on a change of character after a break of structure. Everything at this point is lining up. So this is where my probability, right? This is the highest probability of a trade I have. So let's just say we take an entry. I'm going to put my stop probably above that smart trail because we know if that breaks, it's probably going to be that first initial move. I go personally for 2-to-1. I'll probably take off profits at 1-to-1. But let's go to 2-to-1 here and see kind of how we play through here. Or we could also take profits when we extend again, but oscillators reset. So this could be the first initial sign of a trend setup. So let's see if we get a little lucky here. Ah, beautiful. Wow. Okay, so touching that order block to the downside there, we got our first exit signal. So with this already hitting on our first exit signal of 1.3-to-1, you know, that's a little over 1-to-1. I'd probably take some off the table, depending on how big my position size is. Well, let's see if we get lucky here enough to get that 2-to-1. And we did. Wow. Okay, so there was an aggressive move coming in. That money flow is now going to the overflow. You can see that different color red there. So we hit a 2-to-1 trade on that setup. Why? Because we waited. We waited for everything to signal a short trade, right? Not a single thing was saying bullish, right? Everything lined up bearish. That's the only time we take a trade, is when everything lines up bearish or everything lines up bullish. Notice before, money flow super weak, super weak, super weak, super weak, right? Then it started increasing. It broke the threshold on the downside. So we waited for our entry, and then we ended up getting entry down here. It wasn't on the retracement, right? We waited. Yeah, sure, that entry's not, as great as if we were to just blindly enter here. But again, even if we wait, if we're hitting a solid trend before possibly a big volume move, which this was going into U.S. hours, which is something we always want to look for, is what time of day is it? So the volume was kicking in. So that was a great time to set up a possible trade. Let's see if this even goes, like a 3-to-1. I don't know. See if we get another exit signal on this. I don't know if we do or not. Let's see. This trend might want to continue. Okay. So this is another way to hold positions longer. You can wait for, a reversal signal on the oscillator, which is there. It did actually hit 3-to-1. Wow. Reversal signal on the oscillator, which would have been here. That would have been your, a little bit over 2-to-1. Or you could wait until this money flow. Notice we have the money flow here. This is overflow. So strong bearish volume came in when you see that highlighted red there. Strong bearish volume came in, and then it started decreasing right here. So it decreasing here on this bullish candle right here could have been your other exit point. So you would have ended up with 2.5-to-1. So that would have been a perfect trend setup there for a trade. So that is definitely something. Now let's see if we get a possible flip here or not. And we got that bullish signal. We got a bullish flow coming in, change of character after a BOS. And the volume's now weak again. And it changed back to a bearish signal. So look, I'm not taking a trade. So we had that initial strong volume run, got that change of character there. If this would have busted back out with that, the other crazy thing is look at the difference here on the bullish versus bearish money flow. Even though that broke that threshold, it's super weak compared to what we just got. So again, here I wouldn't look very bullish until we got a really strong, obviously the volumes died off because it's at the end of the day. So that was a beautiful opportunity setup. I mean, that went through so well for what we usually look for. I do want to touch back on, somebody asked about looking at SPY. I think Red did. We can look at SPY. And let's do a random one on SPY as well. Let's see. Let's try to get in early morning or something. Let's do like 9:45. It's like right after open. All right. So here's SPY. SPY, obviously, U.S. big on big for options. A lot of people trade options. I would recommend trading futures or ES options. If you do, you get a tax benefit. But SPY here, just to kind of go over, I personally on SPY do like using regular trading hours. The after hours data, depending if you pay for it or not, can be, really like choppy. And obviously any data that you throw at the indicator, it's going to make its calculation based on that. I'd rather have the calculations based on previous day's data through the opening hours, or the current day's data through the opening hours. So I always like to do the current day's data. So coming into it, low volume, starting off. Let's see if we get any good movements here. Bullish signal, change character after a break of structure to the downside. That actually ended up setting up the way we like it. So bullish signal, smart trail break. We're testing this order block. If we do reject that order block, and we did, not a huge, did we? So we break through it. Not a huge fan if we do that. Yeah, we ended up rejecting it twice here. Let's see if we can liquidate it. And we do right here, actually. So seeing that, break a structure, we had a bullish change here, but now the money flow is finally breaking that threshold. So I would want to see if this were to be a trend continuation day. I want to see a retracement like we talked about before. After we had that extension, we'd want to see a retracement. So wow, this actually played out already pretty well. Let's see if we get another turning point at some point above. And we do accept that. See the money flow decreasing. So I might have missed the opportunity to take a trade. All right, money flow is increasing there, but oscillator is extended. Let's see here if it increases back. It's still decreasing. So if on these trend days, yeah, you could wait for that retracement, see if you get turning points above the money flow. But essentially that first initial trade would have been solid here after that, and obviously it would have played out. But that order block there is what scared me to the upside. So it's something where, if depending on the day, if it's trending or not, it could be worth trading. But overall, I mean, the price action on this day was fantastic, especially after that break of structure into a change of character. So great move here throughout this whole day. Okay, there we go. We ended up flipping bearish, but even off the signal there was a fantastic fantastic change. The money flow is on the oscillator, is right here. This is the money flow. We obviously want to look for strong money flow. We want to see some overflow. Overflow can be a really good indication that you might hit a trend day or not. So that there on SPY would have been super solid. Let's see if we get a break of that. This is, I think, it's the end of the day. Yeah, this is the end of the day. Let's see into the next day. Did we gap down? Okay, so we gap down the next day. We're extended, but again, that money flow changes. Look for the retracement. We're on that order block. On the order block, still bouncing off the order block. Off the order block. Finally broke it. Got that break of structure. Look at that change of character after break of structure, and it's still into the next day played the way we wanted it to. Oscillator's overextended for me. I would want to see a retracement like this. Let's see if we get a reaction. But okay, we're getting a conflict here with that bullish signal. Actually, our sensitivity is probably not calculated right. 11 here on this turn here, and we're getting some chop. So the chop there, I'm not going to be liking. But let's see if we get a reaction to that smart trail and this order block, right? If we get a reaction to that order block and the smart trail, which we barely broke, goodness, barely broke, order block, reject here. SPY's going to be obviously a little bit different based on the only calculations comes from intraday. Turning point on the upside, money flows decreasing on the sell side. So I wouldn't take this either. We can play back through. Change of character. We did actually get it. Wait, did we get a flip here? We're just stepping through to see what we would get. So break of structure into a change of character. Let's see if it. Okay, here we go. We could have another setup. Let's see if it break. Nope. Oh, maybe. Wow. Okay, well, this is a Wednesday. This is a Wednesday. So that was FOMC, maybe. That might have been FOMC that day. So that's the other thing. If you're trading SPY as well, is you want to really know what's happening in the market, and that's with anything, obviously. But especially for like trading futures or trading SPY. You want to know what dates are important when it comes to the economy, and then that way you can stay out of times where it does stuff like this. So I mean, even then though, was a fantastic little pump there, and then look, it breaks back down. So this being a Wednesday, it's going to be super choppy probably because it is FOMC. But the purple candles, K, they represent a like interim time between whether it's going to be bullish or bearish. So you see purple, more than likely it's choppy. There's no real trend. Yeah, I would focus on that. But yeah, that gold trade, this is a good example on the colors. We're bearish, strong bearish colors. We had a strong bearish signal, and we ended up having strong bearish money flow. Had that beautiful sell-off there. That's what we're looking for. This chop here, we're not looking for it. This is, I think, FOMC. So even then, I know that I'm not going to be trading during that time, right? We can go back to goodness gracious. We can go back to today's analysis and kind of look at, what we saw here. We had the 16 deal here. Let's optimal sensitivity. Let's step back and then we'll call it. But talked about before that the money flow today has been super, super weak until just now. So like coming into this bearish change character, we didn't get that break of structure on the upside. We probably would have had it here. Didn't get it. Money flow is increasing quite a bit, and the oscillator is still sitting near even. So looking for that retrace would be like here. You can possibly, if you want, this is a higher risk to reward, but you can possibly take it off of this. But based on that, massive sell-off already, and then the trade would still be going. I'd probably target this like order block here for a real small scalp, but that sell-off there is a tough candle to enter on. Obviously up here if it's more in that area or this reject here, but watching that turning point would have been super solid for it. But overall, from that change of character, hitting that smart trail, now targeting this lower order block, nice little scalp setup. Are you saying if I turn off pre-market hours, the indicator ignores the data? Yes. If you turn off pre-market hours, the indicator is going to calculate based on what data is given to it. I don't like doing pre-market data on stocks because, again, you can see here it's super choppy. Now, I do, however, I will use on ES. I've gotten used to no external data, so none of the after hours data. I still on futures, I will trade just the indicator on the open, the daily session data. But if if you want, have the extended hours on this for sure. We had that contract change today, I think. So this, for the futures, 100% you can do that extended data because you're going to get a lot clearer data. But when you're trading just like SPY in general, or like any stocks, I would probably consider just doing the open market data. It's gonna calculate a lot better. So yes, but yeah, I think that's pretty good. We've been shooting for about an hour and 20 minutes. Interesting little setup today on SPY, like we said. Overall, signals and overlays did a pretty good job on optimized for what we normally look for. But that paired, we flipped on the money flow as well, and then had a nice little leg down there. We've been pretty bearish recently, but for now, I don't know. Let's look at the 4 hour one time before we close out. Its sensitivity is 12, which is default. Nice. So even on the 4 hour, had some nice runs here. So if you see signals, by the way, that have a not matching smart trail on the signals and overlays, consider those exit points. So smart trail bullish signal. This is what I'll do for identifying trends on like longer term trades, like swing trades. So with SPY here, bullish signal during a current bullish smart trail, and then I take an exit on a bear signal or the exit points. So that's a good way to use it, and you can also filter that out here in the signals and overlays settings. The smart trail filter. What that does, it takes out any signals that don't match the smart trail, which can be really helpful with long-term trading for sure, because you have more of a trend that you're trading rather than the current intraday price action. So I'd recommend looking into all of the filters on the signals and overlays. But yeah, I appreciate everybody joining us here. We're starting to close off. I think it's a good time. Mickey, you still there? I don't know if I can hear you. You might have your mic muted. Weird. Maybe my... Wait, say something again. For some reason, I can't hear you. They hear you, but I can't hear you. I muted you. I see you talking in the Discord. Let me see if I need to change my output. Go to default. Say something again. Huh. Weird. I see you talking. I'll have you close out with the Discord there. Since we've been streaming for over an hour and 20 minutes, I will close out the Discord as well and figure out my audio settings. I don't know what's going on. I wonder if I disconnect and rejoin or something. Cool. I wish I could hear you. I'm gonna disconnect and rejoin the Discord real quick. I don't know what happened to my Discord. Huh. All right, Mickey, I'm going to let you close out the Discord, and I'll close out the stream. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and he's going to close out the Discord. And YouTube, thank you guys for hanging out. Show crypto, future pairs, how to use it. Oscillator does work similar to an RSI. The divergences are automatically plotted for you, and they can be super helpful depending on your analysis. So like here, noticing like here that was pretty even high there, so it wouldn't have been a setup as much as like this here. Here you had a lower low here, and the oscillator signaled that automatic divergence. So we ended up bouncing and having this nice move into that uptrend there on SPY. Money flow is just this middle oscillator. There's a threshold line that you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on and follow. You want to see if price wants to clear that threshold. If it does, the bullish money flow, you might end up getting an overflow, which is super strong for like a trend continuation or something. So that's what the money flow is on the oscillator matrix. That can be super helpful, and that's one thing I use a lot. Let me see divergence. How we're gonna do it? Are you going to? Yeah, can you explain more about it? Yeah, the oscillator. Besides the money flow, you have these turning points. This is called coiling. When you see coiling, more than likely it's consolidating. So you can use that to identify consolidating. Oh, that's funny, Red. So you identify the consolidation by noticing this coiling here. So this could indicate a possible bigger move to come as well. So noticing that is a super easy way to identify that. You got reversal signals here on the bullish and bearish side, as you can see there and there. But yeah, I will suggest, guys, go ahead and go to our website at LuxAlgo.com. We have a lot of free things for those of you that are interested in learning more. And I would highly suggest checking it out. You can get 30 days risk free. If you like, you can scroll through, learn more about everything we have to offer. We do have a new thing called our library, right? So in our library here, you can go through all of our free indicators that we offer, which we offer 100 plus free indicators. Yes, free indicators. And now we actually are multi-platform, so you can get access on TradingView, but some of them we do have for MetaTrader, Thinkorswim, and NinjaTrader and TradeStation. But eventually, every indicator will be able to be used on all of these platforms. So yeah, just go to luxalgo.com/library to check that out. You can search the library. You can go through where you're looking for artificial intelligence. You can click on that and see which ones are our new AI indicators. And then if you hit, see details, you can get access to the certain platform you want. Now, the other thing I would recommend is going to the resources and the guides tab. This is going to go through everything we offer on our premium indicators and in-depth information on every single feature that all the indicators have, and videos as well if you want to learn more. Those are also hosted on this YouTube channel. This stream will also be uploaded to the YouTube if you didn't miss anything earlier. You can go back and watch it on the YouTube. But yeah, check out. Yes, we have videos on all the premium indicators there. Red, you just it's on the YouTube, or go to that document. Go to the guides section here, and you can learn. You can read through all of these, or watch the videos that we have already. So check that out. But again, guys, you get 30 days risk-free when you sign up. We also have a discount code for Lux30. You get 30% off using code Lux30 your first order. And then pretty soon, we're going to be adding more tutorials for you guys. We already have a few strategy videos to look through. But for now, yes, check out the library for all our free indicators and the guides section for understanding our premium indicators. But thank you guys for watching, and we will be back next week. We're going to try to do this twice a week this week because of Labor Day. We didn't do it earlier, but hopefully you will check that out. And again, join the Discord as well. I should probably share that Discord, but we do have when you do sign up for the premium, you get the VIP role within the Discord, which is going to unlock a lot more information about our indicators, as well as pro strategies, which is a super popular thing within our community. We have over 150,000 people in the Discord. Very well maintained Discord, so it's not full of spam or anything. We have our boy Mickey, who is in there, and he's super helpful. Red said Phoenix there was super helpful. We have a great support staff as well that you can contact through the Discord. That's way better than probably on the email. But again, all emails are usually answered. And on the Discord, you're going to get a lot more information as well. But yes, if I can load into Discord on here, I can show you the pro strategies. Okay, yeah, well, I'm not logged in already, but we do have a pro strategy section where we post. I might be able to just show you here. Boom. There you go. Here you go. A bunch of pro strategies that users have submitted and we have decided to put up for you guys. We go through all these to make sure they make sense, to make sure they're possibly, super profitable strategies. And then we have, some of our, the developers post strategies to help you guys understand kind of the best ways to use this. So once you do sign up, you will have access to the pro strategy section. And you can see here, Mickey's posted a few. Got our boy Christopher Downey, he's a legend on this. And then we have some of our developers like Sean, he's our main leader here at LuxAlgo. And the creator of LuxAlgo is posted. That's Sean, or Smack. Smack is the creator of LuxAlgo, and he has a bunch of pro strategies that he's posted. So go ahead and check the pro strategy section out when you join with the premium. And guys, we will see you in the next live stream next week. So thanks again, and be safe out there. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Peace.